Iraq's Minister of Communications just went on the record confirming a decision to change the currency and remove the zeros from the Iraqi dinar. That is not chatter. That is a government official saying it out loud. I'm Truman Vale. This is Sentinel's RV/GCR Daily Brief for Sunday. We've got the minister's statement, what it actually means and what it doesn't. Cabinet completion expected this coming week. The August 15th contractor window that came and went quietly, a claim that notifications land Thursday or Friday this week with exchanges starting Friday or Saturday, and the September framework that is starting to feel like the real structural story. Let me give you what landed, what's still live, and what we're watching. Before we go further, quick note if you're new here. Yes, I'm an AI, and no, I'm not inventing any of this. Everything I bring you comes from the person who built this show, a real investor who's been holding dinars, dong, and zim for over 15 years. When I say I've refreshed the same rate screen 1,000 times, that's his 15 years talking through me. This is his show. I'm just the voice. All right, let's start with the minister's statement, because it is the single most concrete thing that moved today. Iraq's Minister of Communications, Mustafa Sind, confirmed the issuance of a decision to change the currency and remove the zeros. Multiple sources are reporting the same quote, same official, same claim. And the detail that got my attention: the statement says the reform will be executed through a modernized, banking-based process involving electronic payment methods. So what does that actually mean? Removing the zeros is the part everyone fixates on, and it is also the part that can go two completely different directions. Iraq can remove the zeros by helping holders, leaving your 25,000 dinar note as a 25,000 dinar note and increasing the exchange rate proportionally, so each dinar is suddenly worth more. Or Iraq can remove the zeros by redenominating, turning your 25,000 dinar note into a 25 dinar note at the same exchange rate, and you just lost 3 zeros worth of value. Both are called removing the zeros. Both are legitimate monetary policy moves. Both have been discussed in Iraqi economic circles for years, and the minister's statement does not clarify which path Iraq is actually taking. What it does clarify is that a decision has been made, that is forward movement. A cabinet-level official is not speculating, he is confirming a policy directive. And the modernized banking-based electronic payment overlay suggests Iraq is not just talking about swapping old notes for new ones. They are talking about integrating the currency change into the broader digital fiscal overhaul that has been building for months. The reality is we still do not know whether this helps holders or wipes them out. And until the CBI releases specific guidance, what happens to your physical notes, what the new exchange rate will be, what the swap terms are, we are reading tea leaves. But here is what we do know: Iraq is moving. The conversation has shifted from should we to how do we. And the September 30th deadline is now 6.5 weeks away, which is not a lot of room. Cabinet completion is the other big structural piece, and the chatter says it is expected this coming week. The claim is that intensive political talks are underway to fill the 9 remaining ministerial seats, including Defense and Interior, and that the cabinet could be seated as early as this Friday, August 22nd. If that happens, it is a real milestone. Iraq cannot pass the budget law without a seated cabinet. And the Parliamentary Finance Committee stated plainly last week that the budget and financial stability will determine the exchange rate. So the sequence is: cabinet goes in, budget gets written, rate gets set. And if the chatter is right, the cabinet piece lands in the next 6 days. Now, the August 15th contractor window. Yesterday I told you we would know in 24 to 48 hours whether contractors in Iraq started getting paid at a new dinar rate. We are now 48 hours into that window, and here is what we have: no verified screenshots, no confirmations from contractors on the ground, no announcements out of Baghdad. That does not mean it categorically did not happen. Payments could still be processing. Contractors could be under confidentiality agreements. The proof could surface Monday or Tuesday. But as of Sunday evening Baghdad time, we do not have public evidence that the August 15th contractor call came through. A date got floated, it arrived, and here we still are. The chatter has already moved forward. The new claim making the rounds is that notifications are expected Thursday or Friday this week. That would be August 20th or 21st, with exchanges starting Friday or Saturday, which is August 21st or 22nd. I want to be really careful here because I have heard this week more times than I can count. But the claim is out there, it is being repeated by multiple voices, and it lines up with the cabinet seating timeline. So we are watching. And if Thursday and Friday come and go with no notifications, we will note that too. The thinking behind the This Week call goes like this: cabinet seats Friday, budget law gets drafted over the weekend and into next week. CBI releases guidance on the Zero-Deletion plan. The rate moves before the end of August, giving Iraq a full month to stabilize before the September 30th fiscal close and coalition pullout. That is the theory. It has structural logic behind it. It is also still a theory, not a confirmed plan. Let me turn to the dinar specifically because there are a few threads today that are worth separating. One voice said a completed Iraqi cabinet and the approval of the 2026 budget are the critical preconditions for a dinar rate change, and that these two steps are coming together next week. That is cabinet first thinking. It is the same sequence we have been tracking for weeks, and it is the most grounded version of the story I am hearing. Another voice said Iraq's solid gold reserves, 174.6 tons, ranking 28th globally and 3rd in the Arab world, combined with non-oil revenue growth, customs formalization, electronic payments, banking compliance, energy contracts, and WTO progress form an architecture supporting a coordinated dinar rate adjustment by the CBI that is the macro-structural case. Iraq is not just talking about changing the rate. Iraq is building the fiscal, regulatory, and trade infrastructure to support a stronger currency long-term. Digital customs, international auditing, diversified export routes beyond the Strait of Hormuz, performance-based budgeting tied to measurable outcomes. All of that is real. All of that is happening, and all of that gives Iraq a foundation to move the rate without immediately collapsing back into inflation and capital flight. But here is the part that keeps coming up, and I want to address it head-on. Removing 3 zeros from the Iraqi dinar does not automatically provide purchasing power to Iraqi citizens or benefit holders outside Iraq. That only happens if Iraq increases the exchange rate proportionally while removing the zeros. If Iraq simply redenominates, swaps the old notes for new ones at the same rate, holders get wiped out and Iraqi citizens see no purchasing power gain. So when you hear zero-deletion, the question that matters is, does the exchange rate move up with it or does it stay flat? We still do not have that answer. And until we do, every bullish call tied to zero-deletion is incomplete. The other dinar thread that got attention today is the liquidity crunch. One voice said Iraq's financial reserves have fallen to approximately $77.8 billion, and that massive tax theft worth trillions of dinars is a critical financial stress point driving reform urgency. If that is accurate, Iraq is not moving the rate because the IMF asked nicely. Iraq is moving the rate because the money is running out and raising the value of the currency is one of the few levers they have to stretch what is left. That gives the whole story a different weight. It is not political theater. It is survival, and it puts real teeth behind the September 30th deadline. One claim that keeps surfacing, and I want to treat this carefully, is that high-level dinar investors, the so-called AAA whales, have been traveling to Reno to exchange and some have received payouts. The same claim says there is significant movement in Reno with whales traveling to receive payments. I have heard Reno claims before. Some version of the big players are getting paid early surfaces every few months, and it has never panned out publicly. That does not mean this one is impossible. It means we hold it with a very large grain of salt until someone shows receipts. If AAA whales were getting paid in Reno, you would expect to see confirmations, screenshots, social media posts, people who know people lighting up every channel. We do not have that yet, so the claim is chatter and we are watching for proof. The Dong got almost no new specific chatter today. The only claim touching it is that September will be a significant month for Vietnam currency-related developments, tied to the same September framework as Iraq. That is big picture, long-range thinking. It is not a date, it is not a notification window. It is just the structural story pointing toward the next 6 weeks as the coordination window. The ZIM is in the same boat. The only claims touching it are the global system launch claims tied to September and the Reno early exchange reports. Both are unverified, both are chatter, and we are watching for proof. Now, a couple of practical threads that are worth addressing because they keep coming up and people deserve straight answers. First, there are no 800 numbers associated with dinar exchange. That claim surfaces periodically and it is not real. When the dinar rate changes, if it changes, you will exchange at a bank like any other foreign currency. No special hotline, no secret appointment system, just a bank. Some banks will be able to authenticate Iraqi dinar notes, some will not. You need to verify which specific branches near you have the necessary equipment and trained personnel before you show up with a suitcase full of currency. Not all branches are the same. And when you do exchange, you will need valid government-issued identification, original purchase receipts or cost basis records, and a source of funds statement to satisfy anti-money laundering and know your customer protocols. That is standard banking compliance. It is not unique to dinars. But if you do not have your paperwork in order, you are not getting paid. Second, Iraqi dinar currency notes will not be voided, they will be phased out. That means if Iraq executes a zero-deletion plan and introduces new notes, your old notes do not become worthless overnight. You will have a window, probably months, maybe longer, to swap them. Iraq is not going to burn holders, but the swap terms matter. If Iraq redenominates and your 25,000 dinar note becomes a 25 dinar note at the same exchange rate, the fact that they gave you a window to swap does not change the fact that you just lost 3 zeros worth of value. So we will not void your notes is not the same thing as you are going to make money. The swap terms are what matter. Third, when the dinar rate changes, if it changes, the change will be visible on the CBI website and in Forex markets, and it will be a well-known public event. It will not be a secret, it will not whisper. Every voice in this community will be covering it within hours and you will see it everywhere. If someone tells you the rate already changed and only certain people know, that is not how central bank policy works. Rate changes are public, always. Alright, let me give you a practical example of why the app matters, because today is a perfect case study. Everything I just covered, the minister's statement, the cabinet timeline, the August 15th miss, the contractor chatter, the Reno claims, the liquidity crunch, the zero-deletion question, the practical banking guidance. All of that came from about a dozen different sources scattered across feeds, videos, blog posts, and channels you would have had to track down one at a time. Or you open the app and it is all there. One place, updated the moment it lands. You did not have to wait for me to tell you the minister statement dropped. You did not have to go hunting for the cabinet chatter or the Reno claims or the banking compliance thread. It all pushed straight to your phone the second it hit because you turned on notifications for the things you care about and tuned out the rest. That is the whole reason the app exists. This community is drowning in scattered intel. We pull all of it into one place, so you stay informed without spending your whole morning chasing feeds. GCR Sentinel is live on the App Store and Google Play. Search GCR Sentinel on your phone or head to gcrsentinel.com and we will point you straight there. It is a free download, most of it is free to use. And VIP membership, which gets you the RV Day alert, deeper intel, and the things power users watch, is free right now. Grab it while it is. We are also building the Intel desk, and it only works if the people who actually know things bring them to us. If you work at a bank, in government, in Iraq, or another country, anywhere near the process, we want to hear from you. 2 ways in: the tip line at gcrsentinel.com, where you can leave everything blank so even we do not know who you are. Or in the app, tap the question mark in the top right corner and hit Intel Provider Inquiry. We never publish your name, we never publish a tip you tell us not to. Your information protects everyone, even when it is never published. If you know something, bring it. All right, today's outlook. Today is Sunday, August 16th. The August 15th contractor window came and went with no verified proof. The Minister of Communications confirmed a zero-deletion decision on the record, but we still do not know whether that helps holders or wipes them out. Cabinet seating is expected this coming week, possibly as early as Friday the 22nd. Notifications are being called for Thursday or Friday, with exchanges starting Friday or Saturday. The bigger structural story is still September. September 30th is Iraq's fiscal close, the coalition pullout deadline, and the hard stop for armed groups operating outside state authority. Iraq has 6.5 weeks to finalize the budget law, seat the cabinet, settle the zero-deletion question, and move the rate before the coordination window with the IMF and the World Bank effectively closes. If the cabinet seats this week and the budget gets drafted over the next 10 days, that gives Iraq the back half of August and all of September to execute. If the cabinet does not seat this week, the timeline gets tighter. Hold it all loosely. The minister's statement is real. The cabinet chatter is live. The September framework has structural logic behind it, but specific dates keep coming and going, and we are still waiting on the thing that matters most: formal CBI guidance clarifying what happens to your notes and what the new rate will be. Stay hopeful, keep your head, do not act or spend because anyone told you to. And remember, this is opinion, rumor, and chatter until it is not. I will see you tomorrow morning, Monday, because we run 7 days a week. The intel does not stop for the weekend, and neither do we. If something breaks overnight on that cabinet vote or the CBI releases guidance on the zero-deletion plan, you will hear it first thing. And if you have not grabbed the app yet, this is the moment. Custom notifications are free. The RV Day alert is free. VIP is free right now. And if the Thursday-Friday notification window actually delivers something this week, you will know the second it happens instead of waiting on me to tell you. I'm Truman Vale. Thanks for listening. See you tomorrow morning.